all dressed up to kill. Sings a woman all dressed up to kill.
In a honky-tonky city of sin, with a sawdust old perfume of gin,
Sings a woman all dressed up to kill. Fancy women, slot machines and booze. Fancy women, slot machines and booze.
With no more money in the stock and 30 days in the Dixie Dock,
You wind up with those Phoenix City blues. Blues those Phoenix City blues. Blues those Phoenix City.
Hello, so this is a picture of my late father. His name was Tommy Robert Henderson. He was born in Phoenix City, Alabama in the summer of 1941. Now, his life story and his personality, I suppose, too, were as interesting and out there as the story of his hometown, Phoenix City, which is still known for its sordid past of open gangs and open gambling, prostitution, you name it. And that's where he's from, and by extension, me. And I'm not a little proud of that. That's kind of cool, actually. But what this means is that he was born to a nightclub singer and likely prostitute named Glendora Brooks, my grandmother. In 1941, she was 16, 17, and 4 months after he was born, he was given up for adoption to a couple by the name of Henderson. And he never knew his biological parents, to my knowledge. And he died without knowing. And when I went to get his birth information in 2010, I petitioned the courts in Alabama, and I was successful. Thank you to everyone there. In his adoption records, they mentioned the name of the mother, a little bit about her background, but nothing about any father. Anyone who might have known is long dead. It was so long ago. I had tried to find out through other means, but no luck. All I ever knew was that it was an older man who worked in a club in Phoenix City and worked for a relative, and he happened to be at the club when my grandmother was there too, and he was much older. Now, I love genealogy, and my mother's family tree is fully fleshed out back centuries. My father's mother's family tree, I've managed to build that up pretty extensively. But I still have this gaping hole of where my grandfather's family tree should be. And that always kind of, I don't know, I don't like that. I don't like not knowing something like that. So, and there was also someone who told me recently, she's from the Philippines, and she was like, I was basically justifying this to her, this search, and I didn't have to. She just looked at me and said, "It's your destiny." And I'm thinking, yeah, I like that. So I'm hoping the internet can help me fulfill my destiny. When I posted my last DNA video, I got a ton of views and a lot of helpful comments from people who are very knowledgeable about this process. So I'm hoping to turn to them for help in this. So I did the DNA test to help figure that out. That was back in earlier this year anyway. And I wanted to focus on those DNA matches who don't align to any of my existing trees. And through that, I just tried to use interpolation and all this to figure out who my grandfather might be. And this is who I think it is. His name was William T. Kramer, or Creamer. He was born 1882 or 3 in Alabama, and he died in 1971. Some pictures of him that were graciously sent to me by his granddaughter, who, if he is my grandfather, would be my first cousin. And what's so trippy about that is that my youngest first cousins are like in their 80s, and I'm 35. So if this guy was my grandfather, I think that would be a real trip, because that would mean he was like 100 years older than me. So that's kind of cool. How I came to this sort of theory, if you will. My two closest matches, let's focus on them for a moment. My closest match, she shares 68 centimorgans across 4 DNA segments. My second closest match, he shares 54 centimorgans across 5 DNA segments. Who is the common ancestor of those two, I wondered. So I looked. It was Joseph G. Kramer and Martha E. Lett. They were the great-grandparents of my closest DNA match and the great-great-grandparents of my second closest DNA match. Now, my second closest DNA match is a grandson of William T. Kramer, and my closest DNA match, well, her grandfather was brothers with, oh God, I don't know. But anyway, she's more distantly related to him. So, basically, I have put my DNA on, I think it's GEDmatch, and my mother has done a test as well. So I guess I'm just looking for tips and ideas on how to further determine whether or not this guy might be my grandfather or who it might be.